Hello everyone and welcome to the Digimon card game unboxing video. This time I'm going to be opening up my second new hero booster box. And as usually is the case with these videos, my second one will be more like semi-related commentary about miscellaneous thoughts about Digimon, while the first unboxing video is just me directly talking about the booster set. So this time, let's talk about Ghost Game, which, as of recording this, has released 10 episodes, and that's usually the gauge on if I want to recommend a season of Digimon, and it's usually based on the first 10 episodes, because that's usually when you've got some bad episodes and you've got some good episodes, and typically that's when I start to feel comfortable recommending it as a show, because I watch every Digimon season, but I don't expect everybody to. Like, some people only watch something if they're particularly interested in it. Like, I watched Atmon when it first came out, and I had really low expectations for it, but I watched it, and I ended up loving it so much, and it's now my favourite season, and I've been recommending it ever since. So yeah, and also, just quickly, in terms of the cards in the set that I'm actually missing a huge chunk of cards from this set. I did not really open that many cards in the first box, so, oh, that's nice and pretty. I like that one. I don't think I opened that one in the first pack, so that's pretty exciting. But anyway, so hopefully we fill in, I think that's a blue card, yep, that's a blue card. Hopefully we will fill in more blanks. I don't have Miyako. I don't have a lot of the Tamer cards, and I'm just missing a lot of cards here and there, so hopefully we'll fill that out. Got lots of that card though. But anyway, so Ghost Game. Yep, so we just got up to, just had the 10th episode as of recording this, and then now that means that I can sort of recommend it, and yes, I definitely do. If you are sleeping on Ghost Game just because you're waiting for it to be like, I don't know, complete, or if you're just not interested in the concept, or you just don't particularly watch newer Digimon seasons, if you only play the card game, or you only experience virtual pets, or you just, maybe you don't like the look of it, maybe you don't like the fact that they're using a more virtual pet approach, maybe there are various reasons why you haven't tried it yet. Maybe you've just been busy, or maybe you just don't really feel like watching it for no reason, I don't know. But in any case, so 10 episodes, and I definitely recommend it. The characters are another reason is maybe after Adventure Colon, you didn't like Adventure Colon, and you're kind of exhausted on Digimon, and you've got fatigue from Adventure Colon, and that's another valid reason, and I know a lot of people who are like that. But in any case, I definitely recommend, oh, I think that's a new one. I definitely recommend Ghost Game. The characters I actually care about. The characters have personalities, they have characters. Even though we've got a smaller cast, that's actually usually a benefit in Digimon shows, because it allows them to spend time giving the Digimon characters as well as the individual characters that are human characters, and that's something that Adventure Colon didn't really, misorganise my cards, didn't really have. I felt like, because they had a huge cast, and this is something that the original Adventure had as well, it's not unique to Adventure Colon, they kind of don't have enough time to give equal amounts of attention to the whole cast. And while the original Adventure is definitely not perfect, I always put it kind of in the middle of my ranking, it at least felt more equal with the characters in terms of the focus and how important each individual character was. Colon, however, had the Taichi problem, which is Taichi was in every episode, and that was just kind of annoying, and a lot of people didn't like that, I myself included. But so far, while Ghost Game has had a fair share of hero-focused episodes, the other characters, so that's Ruri and Kiyoshiro, still matter. They still influence what happens in the episode. They're still there, of course, once they debut. And it's more or less done a lot better than Colin did it in any case. And now we're in sort of like a chunk of episodes, and this is episode 10 and onwards, so we've only seen episode 10, but judging by episode 11, we're going to start looking at other characters, like being as in Ruri and Kiyoshiro, as they have their focus episodes now that Hiro has kind of had his mini arc, which is against Clockmon, who is... Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I definitely didn't open that one in the first pack. And Clockmon's kind of like the first bad guy that you run into. He's the first Digimon. He's the first Mon of the week. Ghost Game is classed as an episodic season in which a lot of the episodes do feel like, even though they do relate to a major plot, they are more or less an episode that you can kind of jump in at any time and you won't be too lost. The plot isn't slow, it's just kind of, at least in the first 10 episodes, a little bit slower and not as relevant and not as fast, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, Atmon is also classed as an episodic anime, and that definitely does have a plot. It's just a lot of the time you could kind of jump in, and even though there was like sort of an end goal plot, you know that in episode 1 of Atmon that they're going to fight Leviathan. He's the bad guy, he's bad. And then the end goal, like in the last episode, you are fighting Leviathan. So it kind of, it already shows you the goal very early on. You don't have an end of arc 1 boss. You don't have the disc 1 boss like a lot of Digimon seasons have. Like the original adventure had Devimon, 02 had Ken. A lot of seasons of Digimon just have that arc 1 boss, and then they have various other bosses that you meet throughout the show. And each one you think is the last boss, but that at Digimon only hangs out for like about 15 episodes. And then we have a main character at the very end who is, like, well, not main character, but the big bad that is released in the last, like, 3 episodes. Apoklymon in the original adventure, and in 02 it was Vamdemon again. And in Tamers it was the D-Reaper. Where's my red panel? There we are. So yeah, it's something that Digimon does have a problem with. We're smashing through these booster packs. So yeah, it's not really a problem that it is classed as episodic, because Atmon was, and as I said before, Atmon is my favourite favourite season. So yes, Ghost Game is good. And yeah, the characters are well done. I care about the characters. And as I mentioned, smaller cast... Oh, that's a new one. Smaller cast means that the Digimon also get characters. So that was something that we had in Tamers, where we kind of had... And I like Tamers. I don't think it's the best season of Digimon. I think it's definitely overrated by a lot of people. But it is still one of the better ones. It definitely has a lot of qualities that I like. And one of those is the fact that the smaller cast allowed for the... Ooh, that's a new one too! Yay! But yeah, so the smaller cast allowed for us to have the partner Digimon having their own personalities and basically being characters. And that wasn't really something that we got to see in a lot of the other seasons, especially ones that have the bigger cast. And it's something that Ghost Game gets to have. Gammamon is baby. Then we have Jellymon, who is very crazy, but I love her. And then we have Angoramon, who's kind of a little bit the nerd of the group. We've given that role to a Digimon, which is fairly cool. Yay, Miyako! Yay! I love Miyako. Really hoping that the box topper is Miyako. And of course, Ghost Game has had episodes that aren't as good. Like, there was an episode, I guess I won't go into it too much if you haven't watched it, but there was an episode which I felt like was a little bit lacking, but still I wouldn't say is bad. I still enjoyed it. It just wasn't as enjoyable to me. Oh, getting a lot of cards we didn't open in the first pack in this first box in this one. And a lot of the Ghost Game episodes in the first 10 episodes do follow a very similar kind of formula of Mon of the Week, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that I would say could be a negative of the show. And while I say 10 episodes is a good way, oh, that's also new. I will also say that, you know, Formula 8 can get a little bit boring, but it's definitely not unique to Ghost Game. And it's, you know, one of the only flaws of the season. But it has been something that annoys me the most. But overall, like, it's not that much of a big takeaway. All of, like, the character interactions are still unique. Oh, another new one. And I still am enjoying it enough to recommend it. But that's something that you'll just have to kind of be wary of if you haven't watched Ghost Game yet. Because it can get a little bit, oh, it's another Monster of the Week episode. And honestly, same sort of thing happened with Young Hunters. And a lot of people didn't like Young Hunters. I thought it was charming. I do see that it had a lot of problems. And it was very much just like, I'm very happy that it was only a 20 episode season or whatever, like 25 I think episodes it was. Because it was, for the most part, except for the last few episodes, it was very much just Mon of the Week. A Digimon is causing an issue in the real world and we have to stop it, and then we have to sort of explain to the Digimon or catch the Digimon so we can make sure that that thing that is happening doesn't happen anymore. And that's something that Atmon does, where it has basically the same sort of premise as Young Hunters, but I think it does it a lot better. It executes it much better. And we have Ghost Game, which also has, ooh, that's nice and pretty, which also has kind of potentially it could potentially fall into that as well, where a lot of the episodes are very much the same, except for, I don't know, when we get some plot. But so far we have kind of avoided that just a little bit by making a few things that are different in each episode. But it is definitely something that is a concern. And my phone is telling me that it's too hot and that it's running out of storage. But we're up to the last few packs. So yeah, in summary, yes, I would definitely recommend Ghost Game. It's on Crunchyroll, so it's very easy to access. And it's, as of recording this, it's episode 10. I think when I'm going to be releasing this, it's going to be more like episode 11 or 12. But I would still very much recommend giving it a shot. And it's a good place to jump in. I think we must have opened up an alt art because I don't recall seeing any secret, so it must have been an alt art. And the last pack. Hoping for the secret card. Nope. Another Hawkmon though, and Hero. So yeah, we must have opened an alt art that I just didn't know the existence of. And now, before my phone runs out of storage and turns off, there we go. There we go. And please be Miyako. Please be Miyako. Nope, Kari. Still cool though. And first box was TK, so that kind of works. But that was the box, and those are my thoughts on Ghost Game. What do you think about Ghost Game? Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't watched it, tell me why not. And did I convince you to watch Ghost Game? Let me know all that and more in the comments, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!